Hi class. My name is Annie and I am going to present my just an idea of my senior capstone with you all. I have to apologize in advance. I am sick and I'm not at my top form, and I have a dog next to me like just panting and freaking out because of the fireworks. It is July 3rd. So apologies in advance. Um, my senior capstone will be one that is, well, it's not yet complete, and it won't be within the next couple of weeks. Um, I'm writing a children's book, and there's just a lot of moving parts to that. Uh, Namely, I don't have an illustrator. I have big ideas, but I'm not good at application of, you know, artistry or artist illustrations in general. So I will just tell you, I'll give you a little rundown about what I'm proposing, why I proposed it, and then I will read the book that I have written. There's a few more lines. I think I need a few more pages I need to add, but I will share with you all. So, quickly, I've been working with children for over 20 years. I have a couple of my own. My my boy said to me a few years ago when he was around like 4, he's like, "Why, how come there's not books for boys the way that there's books for girls?" Like at the time, there are amazing books, like Rebel Girls and like Brazen, like just books that highlighted women in history who've just done amazing things and have accomplished great feats. Um, that said, it was on my radar. I kept looking. I'm like, oh yeah, there's lots of sports books and like superhero books for sure. And there are books with boys in them as um, obviously characters, but I just didn't see any real like kind of like early childhood aged or younger kid aged books that basically amplify the content of boys' character, their tenacity, their wildness, their ability to problem solve, their depth of emotion. Like, oh my word, like their heart, you know, the sweetness of their heart, all these things. Like, boys are awesome. I feel like they're kind of getting the short end of the stick in terms of the young boys, just highlighting what I feel are good and noble traits. So that said, I will just share a couple of quotes from my introduction, my critical introduction, sorry. Um, I, excuse me, sorry. I presented this idea that men, their roles as fathers has been questionable at best for since the Industrial Revolution at least, but post-war era fathers, I would say, they fought in wars and then they came home and they were breadwinners and just really didn't really hold a lot of presence for their children. They were very busy, doing all the other things like and working. Excuse me, they generally speaking did not give their children a lot of energy. Here's a quote I will share quickly by Jonathan Gould and Robert Gunther from Reinventing Fatherhood. Quote, "What does it mean to be a father? Men of our parents' generation gave this question little serious consideration. No matter what their background, it seems that fathers of the 50s and 60s were away for so many hours during the day that their presence around the house was experienced as a treat, more like a favorite uncle coming to visit than an ongoing participation. Dad was away at work too often for us to be able to talk with him about everyday life." So this is kind of giving this idea that, well, I mean, the basis that we have compared fathers traditionally has, been shaky at best. You know, these fathers really weren't meeting their children's needs. Then I go into discussing like the post-war era fathers to, you know, connecting it to the fathers of today. So, you know, these post-war era fathers were our grandfathers, right? And, you know, our fathers were kind of left licking their wounds and, you know, picking up the pieces of what, you know, they could from their relationship or lack thereof with their fathers. So they did the best they could, I guess. I mean, not everyone, obviously, this is again a generalization, but they did what they could with what they had um, as a model. And so then here we are as young parents, you know, here are men, you know, who are just, I feel, kind of uh, wanting to reinvent the, not reinvent the wheel, but wanting to change, to shift this idea of what the ideal father is or what it means to be a father. So I will give you another quote from a book that I really liked this quote. Sorry. This is from The Way of the Wild Heart, A Map for the Masculine Journey by John Eldridge. He says, "The father is to speak into his son's heart deep affirmation. Yes, you do. You have what it takes. He needs 100 experiences that will help him get there. And he is wounded and emasculated when he is kept from those experiences or left on his own to interpret them, or when no one is there to help him in his journey toward initiation." So this is kind of giving space to like what a father, you know, what a father's role could be. Then I kind of segue into outdoor play, right? Like the need for our children to engage in risky behavior outdoors, which I should clear. So risky outdoor behavior, risky play, I should say. It's like a term used to just you know to give this idea that kids need to be put into scary situations. They don't need to be like helicoptered and stuff, you know, like that's the last thing they need. I'll give you another quote from Dr. Rebecca Spencer. She says, it was a research study, excuse me. Children have an evolutionary need to engage in free, unstructured, exploratory play outdoors. Outdoor play offers opportunity for children to use natural elements and promotes physical activity, among other health benefits, including exploring their environment and taking risks. Risky outdoor play may involve challenges, height, speed, and the potential for injury, but has been associated with increased physical activity levels, decreased sedentary behavior, improved mental health, and social benefits. The integration of loose parts or open-ended, unstructured materials into play environments has been associated with positive social behaviors, creativity, and improved problem solving, confidence, and resilience. So, yeah, so my critical intro was basically connecting, you know, well, looking at our past, how things have been done, the need for change, you know, or just kind of reapproaching what the role of father is. And then the very real need for children to be able to be outdoors, for our boys to be outdoors, playing, letting out all that energy. So that's that. I will now read my short story, my short book for boys, Ode to Boy. No, this book it's gonna be it's small, and I think I have to add a few more lines. Um, but uh, every line there'll be a beautiful illustration, and it'll be very kind of, you know, almost dreamlike, but um, definitely all taking place outdoors, outdoor elements, nature, and outdoor elements even in, you know, urban settings. Ode to Boy. He was a boy of quiet will, of hunt, of gather, of courage, of still. He was a boy a lion and a lamb, who came rushing down in a silent sweep amongst burrs and earth and dusk so deep. He was a boy, his heart sound, beating noble and true, love unbound. Thoughtful, artful, joyful, boyful. Smudged hands, trekking mind, curious eyes, spark enshrines. He was a boy who came from boys before to summon the race, to settle the score. And that's what I have. And I apologize for all of the fireworks and my voice and the dog panting, but as it were, thanks. Bye.